As exclusively revealed by Sportsmill, the FA are primed to sell Wembley Stadium to Fulham owner Shahid Khan in an astonishing £800 million deal. There are plenty of questions on the lips of football fans. Where will the national team play? Will the FA Cup final be affected? What will happen to the money? With that in mind, Sportsmail's Laura Lambert answers the burning questions. Where would England play? Wembley would remain the home of English football, but England's autumn internationals would have to be played elsewhere, to make way for NFL games at Wembley, which would be held between September and December. Where would the £500 million go? The FA has still not finished paying for Wembley, having taken a sizable loan to meet the cost, which it is still paying interest on. In January it was announced that the FA still had £142 million of debt remaining, and was due to pay this off in 2024. Part of the £500 million would therefore be spent on paying off the loan, while the remainder would be split between Wembley's stakeholders. However, the FA would be likely to invest a large proportion of the money it would make from the sale into grassroots football. What would happen to Club Wembley? The FA would retain the rights to debenture and hospitality business Club Wembley, which is estimated to be worth around £300 million. Club Wembley offers members premium seats for sports fixtures and priority access for entertainment events. Would it still be called Wembley Stadium? Wembley signed a multi-million-pound, 6-year deal with EE in 2014. The communications giant is the lead brand partner of the stadium, and it is not clear how this new deal would affect the contract. Although the FA has stressed that the deal with EE is not strictly a naming rights deal, the official name of Wembley is Wembley Stadium connected by EE. This could, therefore, open the door for future naming rights deals. Where would FA Cup, Challenge Cup final and playoffs be staged? The FA Cup final and semi-finals, the FA Community Shield, the FA Vase and Trophy finals, EFL Cup final, Rugby League's Challenge Cup final and the Football League playoffs would continue to be played at Wembley. It is only the fixtures at Wembley in the autumn that would be affected. It is understood Euro 2020 fixtures at Wembley, which includes the semi-final and final, would be able to go ahead as planned. Who currently owns Wembley? The FA bought Wembley in 1999, and owns it through its subsidiary Wembley National Stadium Limited, but there are a number of stakeholders involved. The £757 million building project was funded in part by the Department for Digital, Culture, Media and Sport, which put in £20 million, Sport England, which put in £120 million towards the purchase of the old Wembley Stadium, and the London Development Agency, which contributed £21 million. How would Tottenham's NFL plans be affected? Tottenham struck a 10-year deal with the NFL to host at least 2 games a year at the new £1 billion White Hart Lane, which features the world's first dividing retractable pitch. NFL invested £10 million in the new stadium. How might Chelsea and any plans to temporarily move to Wembley be affected? Chelsea have been considering moving to Wembley for £11 million a season during building work to Stamford Bridge, like Tottenham have been doing during the redevelopment of White Hart Lane. It is unclear whether this would still be possible if this deal went ahead. Would Wembley now be the home of the Jacksonville Jaguars? It is likely that Shahid Khan would want to make Wembley the home of the Jacksonville Jaguars, but NFL would need to approve this. Other NFL games would continue to be played at the new White Hart Lane as part of the deal with Tottenham. Would ticket revenue go to Shahid Khan or the FA? The FA would retain ticket rights for the events it holds at the stadium. This would mean that when it rented the stadium, for fixtures such as England games and the FA Cup final, it would keep the revenue from ticket sales. Where would the FA be based? For the foreseeable future, the FA's headquarters would continue to be at Wembley. The FA moved its base from Soho Square in central London to Wembley in a £17 million move in 2009.